Listen, I ditched the S25 Ultra for the Z Fold 7. And let me tell you, I did it for two reasons. And when I drop those two reasons, you're going to be like, whoa, okay, I understand it. And this changes everything. This phone is on another level. So watch to the end because you don't want to miss this. My experience with the Z Fold 7 has been interesting. Let me backtrack. I never was a big fan of the candy bar size phone and the thickness. It was always too narrow for my big hands and too fat. This is the only reason why I was never a fan of the Z Fold series. Then Google released their version of the foldable phone, and that was more up my alley until now. The Z Fold 7 is sleeker, lighter, thinner, and it keeps its iconic book style fold. It's the lightest fold in the series due to Armor Flex hinge that is 20% thinner and 43% lighter than its predecessor. The Z Fold 7 is almost a perfect size. It's not too narrow for my hands, and I can actually text properly without feeling like I have to strain my hands. Now, the outer of the screen size is 6.3 inches with a dynamic AMOLED 2X cover screen with a smooth 120 refresh rate. The screen doesn't stop me from multitasking, which is a plus. I can do everything as I did on my S25 Ultra without any limitations. Speaking of limitations, the Z Fold 7 lacks S Pen support in some capacity. We'll talk about that a little later on in the video. One major hardware feature that sets the S25 Ultra apart from the Z Fold 7 is the ability to unfold into an 8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display tablet. The tablet display has a buttery 120 refresh rate. This year's version is brighter, hitting at about 2600 nits, making it the most usable foldable phone outside. The obvious is the crease in the middle of the display. Personally, I don't notice it at all. It could be a psychological acceptance. There are rumors that Apple is making their first foldable phone, so maybe they can do the impossible and have a foldable smartphone with no crease. If that's the case, best believe that phone will cost $3,000. And speaking of 3,000, help me reach 3,000 subscribers within the next 6 months. All you gotta do is hit the subscribe button, like this video, and just please share it with your circle of friends. When I was buying the Z Fold 7, I had an inner display in mind because I knew I would be using inside display the most. As a new foldable user, I enjoy using the multitask features like having 2 apps open simultaneously or even using 3 apps at the same time. Honestly, I find myself using multitasking feature daily. It's my new obsession. Kind of crazy, right? One of the things I like about the multitask feature, let's say you got 2 apps open at the same time. You can scroll that app all the way over until the image looks distorted, and then you have one app full screen. Then you tap on the other portion of the app, and then it will automatically slide it over and make that selection full screen. And you can just do that back and forth just because you want to focus more over the other screen. And another thing I like is the touchpad feature. What you have to do with that is, of course, fold your phone in half, and then you can open an app like Spotify, and then you'll see an option to use a touchpad. So you can just click on to skip to the next track. And then if you're using a web browser, you can also use a touchpad. You can move the cursor, like make that website go up or down, or just make some clicks, and and so forth. You could treat it like a little tiny tablet, if you know what I mean. So these are some of the many features of the Z Fold 7 that I really like to use. But this phone has so many features, I would definitely need to make a standalone video just by itself. The touchpad, the multitasking, and the overall performance of the Z Fold 7 is powered by Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 for Galaxy exclusively, so it makes the Samsung phones way more optimized. You also get 12 gigs or 16 gigs of RAM and the storage up to 1 terabyte. This device is a multitasking powerhouse. Whether you're gaming, editing videos, or running 3 apps side by side, the Z Fold 7 handles it without breaking a sweat. However, there was a lot of fuss about the lack of S Pen support this year. I initially thought it was a deal breaker until I realized they are workarounds if you really want to use a stylus for your device. I have a complete video on utilizing S Pen support on the Z Fold 7. I'll leave a card above so you can click on it. Overall, the multitask functionality is my highlight of the phone. With all this raw power, let's discuss the battery life. Currently, the Z Fold 7 has a 4,400 milliamp battery, the same as its predecessor. Even though the phone is well optimized, I average about 4 to 6 hours using the inside display. I wouldn't call myself a power user because I don't use it for gaming on my phone or anything like extreme outside of watching YouTube videos and so forth on. But like I said, you'll get a good 4 to 6 hours. This year, Samsung has leveled up with its cameras. You have a 200 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens. And of course, you have 2 separate cameras, the outside display and inside display. The cameras are so much better even with a newly added 200 megapixel sensor. And I know one of the limitations of the Foldable lineup was its cameras. This year, Samsung broke that barrier by upgrading the camera system. Of course, the camera system isn't as good as the S25 Ultra, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And because the camera lenses are bigger and the phone is thinner, you have a lean with a rock to your phone while face up on the table. I mentioned at the beginning of the video why I ditched the S25 Ultra over the Z Fold 7. Well, I have your 2 answers. Innovation at its finest and the heavy multitasking options. I depend on them. I'm very busy with ministries. I'm over at the church. I write scripts all the time. I also create calendar events or plan out events as far as scheduling is concerned, and the list goes on. With that explanation, I'm sure you all can understand why I put down the S25 Ultra and picked up the Z Fold 7 for its heavy multitasking functionality. Well, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like this video because the more likes, the more this video can be exposed outside my circle. Anyways, if you like this review and you want to see more reviews like this or other cool videos, then please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Well, until next time guys, I'll see you guys later.